The light in the gym had shifted. Barely, but enough for me to notice. It was the kind of change you only picked up after years in a place like this. When you coached enough seasons to know how fluorescent bulbs dim subtly with time, how sound changes as the air cooled, the echo softened, the shadows grew longer on the hardwood. And still, he stood there, shoulders square, chin level. He wasn't perfect, not yet, but he was trying. I gave him credit for that. Quietly, internally, but I didn't show it. I stepped around him again, slow and even, like I had all the time in the world. "How long do you think you've been standing there?" I asked. He shifted slightly, just his eyes upward, thinking. Couple minutes?" I stopped, dead still. "No." He blinked again, confused. "Try again," I said, "but this time answer properly." He opened his mouth as if he was about to ask what I meant, then hesitated. He realized it wasn't a trap, it was standard. "How long, ma'am?" There was a pause. I raised an eyebrow. He was close, but still off. "That wasn't a yes or no question, Connor." He flushed a little, face warm even under the gym lights. "Sorry," he muttered. I stepped in, not aggressive, just enough presence to remind him I didn't allow rules to slide out of convenience. "Don't apologize," I said calmly. "Correct." He strained slightly more. "Yes, ma'am." I nodded. That was better. "You're not in school right now, but this is still a classroom. And in this classroom, we decide and we deal in precision. That includes how you speak to me. When I give you a command, you respond with anything other than yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am. I take it as a refusal to meet the standard." He swallowed hard. "Yes, ma'am." That time, it landed with the right shape. I started pacing again, small loops now, just enough to keep his nerves in motion without allowing him to hide inside them. His eyes tracked me for a moment, then caught himself and looked forward again. He remembered. Good. "Every person who trains under me learns to speak like they belong in a room," I said. "It doesn't matter if they're confident or nervous or brand new. What matters is how they respond when they're being shaped. There's nothing casual about growth, Connor. And there's nothing casual about the way you carry yourself when you're under instruction." I stopped behind him again. "You don't answer with a shrug. You don't say uh-huh, and you don't mumble." I waited, watching the stillness of his frame. His back held, his chin stayed set. "So let's try something." I stepped forward, stood in front of him once more. "Do you want to be here?" I asked, firm but not harsh. He hesitated, then said, steady, "Yes, ma'am." "Do you know why I stopped you tonight?" "Yes, ma'am." "Do you understand what slouching says about you, even if you don't mean it that way?" "Yes, ma'am." "And is that who you want to be?" "No, ma'am." I gave a small nod. That was what I needed to hear. "Words are small," I say, "but your tone, your volume, your posture, those things announce you before you ever speak. You've been announcing the wrong version of yourself for weeks." He didn't argue. He didn't shift. He just stood there, straight-backed, chin level, breathing a little heavier now, but not letting it show in his shoulders. I watched him for another long moment, just to make sure it wasn't a fluke. It wasn't. He was holding. "I'm not here to humiliate you," I said after a while. "I'm here to hold you to a standard that you're going to thank me for. Maybe not today, maybe not next week, but someday. Another beat passed. He didn't respond, so I gave him one more test. Are you ready to continue? Yes, ma'am. This time, it came quickly. Clearly, no pause, no hesitation. That earned a rare thing from me. A breath through my nose, soft and slow. Close to approval, but not quite. Then reset, I said. Back straight, eyes forward. And without a word, he did. I took 3 slow steps backwards and motioned once. A simple flick of my hand, not a wave, not a gesture. Just enough to signal that we're moving now. Walk, I said. He looked straight ahead, not at me, and stepped forward. His sneakers tapped softly against the hardwood, echoing in the high, open space of the gym. He moved with hesitation at first, not because he didn't know how to walk, but because now he knew I was watching, and knowing that changes everything. You see it in their shoulders first, then their hands. They try to correct the little things, the bounce in their step, the way their head naturally dips forward, but they overreact. It becomes stiff, mechanical, performed. Stop, I said. My voice bounced off the black wall like a line of chalk. He stopped, 1 foot slightly ahead of the other. His chin tilted just a little. His hands balled too tight. Reset. He swallowed again, took a breath, rolled his shoulders back, straightened up again. It wasn't natural yet, but it was happening, bit by bit. Good. Again. He walked. Stop. He stopped. Too much sway in your arms. Reset. He adjusted, this time pulling the motion in tighter, chest still forward. I paced behind him like I was walking lines on a track, my footsteps steady, no change in rhythm. I didn't comment when he got it right. That wasn't the point. I only stopped him when something slipped. Again. He stopped the length of the gym floor. Chin level, eyes focused. Stop. He froze mid-step. Better, I said, but your left shoulder's starting to lag. You lean onto it when you're unsure. Fix it. He reset, breathed a little faster now, but his hands stayed at his sides. Again. We did this for 12 minutes. 12 minutes of walking and stopping and fixing and resetting. Most people wouldn't last that long. Not because it's hard on the body, though it does wear on you, but because it grinds on your mind. That kind of drill doesn't give you adrenaline. It gives you silence. And silence magnifies every insecurity. Every tiny mistake rings out like a siren. But he stayed with it. Another step got smoother. Another pause became sharper. His head no longer darted towards me for approval. He held his posture as if it was no longer a command, but a requirement he had accepted for himself. I could feel the shift happening. Not complete, but real. You learned what it's felt like to be observed, I said, my voice low and even. To be responsible for how you move. Every time you enter a room, Connor, not just here, everywhere, people see you before they hear you. They register your posture before they ever process your words. He didn't speak. He just kept walking when I told him to, and stopping when I said stop. That was all I needed. Again, he moved without hesitation. Stop. This time, I stood for a moment longer than usual, just long enough for him to wonder if he had done something wrong. He hadn't, but I wasn't going to tell him that. I stepped in beside him, not speaking for several seconds. The gym had gone quieter now, the evening settling outside. the wind no longer pushing against the back doors. Even the hum of the lights seemed lower. All of it added to the weight to the space around us. You're not training to walk like someone who wants to be left alone, I said. You're training to walk like someone who expects to be taken seriously. And that includes every inch of your posture. He nodded slightly. I waited. He caught himself. Yes, ma'am, he said, steady now, automatic. Good. I let the silence sit, watching his spine hold, his shoulders square, his feet balanced. Then I stepped back and pointed to the far end of the court. One more lap, and this time, I said, you'll walk like you're already who you're becoming. He didn't ask what I meant. He just walked. And for the first time since the others had left the gym that evening, I didn't stop him. Not once. Hey guys, it's Vivian from Red Cheek Audios. Thanks for hanging with me for part 2 of Back Straight, Eyes Forward. So, I've been posting for about a month now, and it's been amazing watching this little space grow. Whether you've been here from day one or just found me, I genuinely wanted to say thank you. Now that I got a few uploads under my belt, I really love your feedback. So, do you guys like slower stories or quicker ones? Music or no music? Or how about accents? Do you like strict tone or something softer? And lastly, first, second, or third person? I pin a comment where you can vote, but feel free to drop anything. Genres you like to hear, what point of views hit hardest, even if you like the outros or not. Starting my last video, I started replying to comments too. I was a little nervous before, but I wanted this to be a real conversation. So please be kind, because I'm here. And hey, if you're part of this, you're officially one of the redliners now. I kind of love the sound of that. So, part 3 drops tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Love you, redliners.